everyone, it's Rambling Hour with Lisa, season 14, episode 2. Welcome and join me. Alright, I'm going to I thought I would show you how these are up on the wall. These are Steve's. This one was bought by Amy, my stepdaughter, his daughter. And this one was painted by Jackie, and the colors go together really well, so they're up on this wall here. But I'm going to bring you closer and tilt you downwards so that we're sitting here. And then I can close this as much as I can. And we can be nice and close together. How is everyone? How are you? What are you up to? This guy broke a few times, but he's just too cute, so I thought I would have him with a little bit of a spring theme. And I was going to do St. Patrick's Day for 2 weeks, but I decided to do more of a spring Mother's Day theme because here in the UK it is Mother's Day today. So if I rearrange these things, let me set him down for a second. These beautiful flowers are from Aurora. She went out and got them with her own money. Erica went out and got some chocolate for me with her own money. It's like Cadbury's Marvelous Creations bars of chocolate. It has candies in it, like Pop Rocks and gummies and different things in the chocolate bar. They're really good. And with Cadbury's, I can eat more of the chocolate because I'm allergic to soy, and they put soy lecithin in chocolate to make it run smoother. It seems like the cheaper the chocolate, the more soy it has in it, but luckily I can eat that. This is a beautiful orchid from Steve and the girls that I got. So the color is absolutely gorgeous. And you guys are a bit close when I have you here like this, aren't you? I might move you a little bit further back, but put that up, and I shouldn't lift him by his head because he's actually been broken a few times around, like right there, like he's had to be glued. So let's push you back a little bit. And then there's just my gin glass, but we have water with a touch of ice today. And for my outfit, I have a wool jumper. It's not a cardigan, it's like an outdoor one, and it has a really cute hood, and it would be even better if I hadn't shrunk it, which is the problem with wool, but it's got a cute little hood. Oh, that is a, what do you call it? Lena, move. Sorry, the door can't close all the way because I have an extension lead in it, and Lena just pushed the door open, which knocked down the ironing board on top of my head. So I love this toque, or like hood, I should say. I don't know how to get it in the shot with me and it, but it's really cute. Like I said, this would be even cuter if I hadn't shrunk it, but it still fits. And if I zoom you out again, then I can show you this cute jumper. Oh, I want to get it with the, hang on. So yeah, there. Cute, but I'm also wearing for the first time my sweatpants, and they are from, how can I get this in the shot? Again, like, they are Plant Lovers Club. So they are from Earth, Wind, and Plants. So if I bring you closer, I don't know how to get my leg, and I'll have to take a picture later with my face and my trousers and my sweatpants. But yeah, these are my first time wearing them. They didn't have them in stock when I got the hoodies for Christmas. And unfortunately, this color that I ordered is not exactly, I thought it would match the hoodie, but it's actually just a bit of a different color. So my mistake. This is a lot of, as they would say here in the UK, fuffing about with my, so I thought, anyways, I'm in the bathroom downstairs that we renovated, And I know Tom said you're doing your live from the bathroom. Hi, Mom. Mom says hi. It is a bathroom, but it's also, it used to be a utility room when the house was originally built. It's quite a big room, and this right here is kind of like the walkway to go from into the hall and into the garage. So we could have built a wall here and made that just the bathroom and then had this like a little hall, but it would have closed it in. And once the garage is our bedroom anyways, it won't matter if this, like nobody will be in this room except me and Steve because it'll be our ensuite. But it was with this nice color of green that I painted. You can see, oh, that's something on my phone. You can't see them, they're behind me, but there is, you can see one right there. There's bolts on the wall because the radiator still hasn't got on yet. There's the bolt. So the radiator will be behind me eventually when it goes on. I just was taking advantage of the nice color of wall, but what I was going to say is because there's no radiator on in here, it's usually pretty cool in this room. Saying that, wearing a woolly jumper, it is not cool in this room right now. But I'm all right. How is everyone? What have you been doing? What have you done with your week? I don't remember Monday and Tuesday as much. I think I was cleaning and organizing. I got stuff done in the greenhouse as well. But I know on Wednesday, we went to, me and Steve took the day off and we went to Wales. And we went to a place called the Great Worm, which is one of his favorite places. And then it's one of my favorite places as well now. My mom says, "You're late. It is 2 o'clock here." Mom, I'm not late. I'm at the same time. You guys changed your clocks last night, or early this morning. So you guys have sprung ahead. So your 2 o'clock should have been 1 o'clock if you didn't change your clocks. For me, it is still, I still started at 8 p.m. Yeah, no watch. I don't know if I told you guys that or not, but Steve did replace my Apple Watch, but then it wasn't holding a charge for very long, so he had to send it back. So, yes, so Mom, I'm not late, but listen, it's often me who is the problem and who is often late, but this time it is not me. The weather here has been a bit rainy. There's been some sunny days, but a bit chilly, but still above freezing for the most part. I've really enjoyed having time in the greenhouse and getting organized in there and spending time with my house plants, and I've fertilized everything in the greenhouse. I've fertilized everything in the house, all the house plants. And I've mowed the lawn for the first time for this season. And because me and Tom put the orange plastic fencing around the lawn so that I could put grass seed down. So I mowed the lawn and I put grass seed down, just the leftover grass seed that I had from last year. But I need to buy some more and do that and reseed it again. So hopefully our lawn will grow, and the dogs will be allowed to go on it again once it's full instead of just being a mud pile. So hopefully that keeps the house cleaner too. But yeah, so on Wednesday, me and Steve went to the Great Worm. It's really nice. It's like, they would probably call them mountains here, but for us coming from the prairies, well, I say prairies are flat, but the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, like when you see big mountain ranges, to us these are like foothills or just smaller hills. But yeah, it's nice big cliffs and small mountains and everything. And the Great Worm, there's a big old mine there that's like thousands of years old, and I think it's an ore mine, and it's just a very nice place, very great views from the top, and just feels really good to be there. So me and Steve did that on Wednesday. And, you know, like, honestly, I read a few chapters of my book. I could finish it sooner than later. Oh, I have it here. So, the Many Faces of Maid. It is bittersweet because it is talking about MAID, which is medical assistance in dying. And the case studies in here are, like, the book is Canadian, so it's people in Canada, but it's their experience with having someone who has been approved for MAID, and the experience leading up to MAID, and then the day of MAID, which is when they will have euthanasia. But even if you're with someone at the end of their life where you're caring for them or watching them deteriorate, especially with things like cancer and everything else, it's just, there can be positives that come out of it if you finally begin to live your life or say the things that you've wanted to say, and people can become really close and have some of the best memories in that time. But at the same time, it's devastating and sad and everything in between, let alone getting to the chapter that is the Maid Day, where the case studies actually say goodbye to their loved ones. So it is a beautiful book. It's well worth reading, especially if you are taking care of somebody at the end of their life, if you yourself are going through anything like that, or you just want to know more about MAID. So I suggest the book, but I'm almost done reading it. It's just have a box of tissues with you when you get into, the first few chapters. I mean, it can be sad from the beginning, but I'm saying like as it goes on, because the way the chapters are set up, it goes through the steps kind of with each case study, and then it gets further on in the journey, and it obviously is harder the further on it gets. So I finished the Maid Day, and now I'm on After Maid, and then finding support after Maid. So it's what do you do after your loved one has passed away. So as I said, today is Mother's Day in the UK, so happy Mother's Day to not only moms, but mom figures, anybody who does mothering. And I have cards from the girls, and Allison's not home. She's at her boyfriend, so she'll be home tomorrow, but this is from Erica and Aurora. But something that was really special that happened today, which surprised me, was that we had visitors that dropped by our grandson Jackson. This picture was a Christmas present from Amy and James, and he's going to be a year old soon. But he hand delivered, the pun is intended, it wasn't, but it can be. Happy Mother's Day, Meemaw. And it's little Jackson's handprint with a rose. So how great is that? My first Mother's Day as a Meemaw. To Meemaw, happy Mother's Day. Lots of love, Jax. So that was a surprise and really, really sweet. So thank you, Jax. And again, happy Mother's Day to anybody who's celebrating it today. And like I said, it doesn't just have to be mothers, because there's lots of people out there who would love to be a mom, but they might be an auntie, they might not have been able to be a mom. And with that, I want to say that I love being a mom. That is great, but your life is no less important or like, I thought before I had kids that having kids was something that would complete me and that I needed to do. Now that I have had kids and raised most of them, I realize that you can still have a fulfilled life and a complete life, even if you're not a parent to children. And having children in your life as an auntie or an uncle, or even teaching, or volunteering, or lots of different ways, you can still be an influence in children's lives and not have your own biological children. So don't be devastated if you have always wanted to be a parent and it never happened for you, or if you're trying to become a parent and it's not happening for you. Everybody takes different paths in life, and I'm not gonna act like I'm not grateful for the kids that we have. And yeah, it's easy for me to say because it happened for me easily when I was not trying, but not trying to have kids. But I hate seeing people not live their full life because of something that they think is missing, like a partner or children or their dream job or something else. Just make the best of what you have when you have it. And again, we all have different journeys. So Mom says cute at the card from Jackson. And just know that it takes so many people to be an influence on someone's life. I love my mom, and she is my only mom, and she has been a great mom. But she's not the only female influence that I've had in my life. I've had my Auntie Joan and my Auntie Lorene, and cousins, and other aunties, and teachers, friends' moms. My best friend Rachel, her mom Nina. It showed me, like, I think with the good thing with Rachel's family life and our family life growing up. My parents were together, her parents were separated, but it showed us that family dynamics can be different, but it's still all about, is there love in the house, and and the stuff that really matters. So don't underestimate what type of influence you are on the kids and people around you, because when they say it takes a village, it really does. It's not just the mom and the dad. Saying that, also the mom and the dad, or the two moms and the two dads, or whoever the parents are, they do not mind the support most of the time. They could use the support because it is exhausting, and like mentally, physically, everything, raising kids. So, and sometimes, a lot of times, it feels like a thankless job. Especially kids and even teenagers can be very selfish, and not on purpose. It's just who they are. They're finding themselves and everything else. So because they're so self-focused, they don't always appreciate what they are being given and all that we do for them. So yeah, it's lovely to have other people around to help with the rearing of our children process. So don't underestimate, even if you're not a parent yet or haven't been able to be, that you still can make a difference. So babble, babble, ramble, ramble. That's all I do. I really do like the hood on this. It's very cute. I forgot that it had a hood like that until I started, because I thought about, because I shrunk this, that maybe I wanted to get rid of it, but it's just too cute. I should actually wear it outside the house sometime. I thought it would be good for, because it's got flowers on it, so I thought it'd be good for spring. But also it was like the green, because I was going to do the St. Patrick's Day, but we'll do that next week. And then, before you know it, it's Easter. Like, Easter is March 31st. So next week will be St. Patrick's theme, and then we'll do Easter themes after that. And I'll let you guys know when I'm reading the Easter stories for the kids. So, what else can I tell you? Oh, I know what I did Monday and Tuesday. Monday, okay, so last week we brought my car in, and it was supposed to get fixed on the Wednesday. And then they finally called us on Monday that it was ready. So we went and picked it up on Monday, and then, because it was having a fault, some kind of electronic circuit fault. So they fixed that, and then on Tuesday, when I first started it at the dealership, it was fine. I went to the shop and went in shopping. When I came back up to start it again, it started giving me other faults that weren't there before, like other electronic faults. So we contacted them right away, and then on Tuesday I brought it in, and I waited for the hours for them to, they said we needed a new battery again, so we have to, anyways, it's a long story. I know we just got a new battery, but anyways, so finally on Tuesday, yeah, just like all day waiting for my car. Then Wednesday we went to Wales, and then Thursday and Friday I did try to get garden time, as I said, so hopefully the weather is better and doing well. Yesterday I didn't bring any in here to show you, but I did take pictures of them, so I will eventually add them. Yesterday, okay, so I saved these pictures a long time ago to try and do this, and I bought the jar a few months ago. It's just a jar about this big and has a lid that seals on, so you can use it for cookies or biscuits or whatever. But I was gonna make a little terrarium in it, little moss terrarium. So you put clay, you lie it on its side and put clay all on one side, and then they made this little path, and they put little steps out of what do you call it, slate, so it looks like, and then you put the moss that you gather outside, put the moss onto the clay, and then when you stand it up, it looks like a moss cliff with these little slate steps going up in it. Put rocks at the bottom, and some plants. And then you put the lid on, and it's like a little terrarium. So I tried making one, and so I collected moss and stuff like that. That's what I did yesterday. And then I made a few other little ones that we'll see how they do. So I have taken pictures of those. I'll add them. But that's what I did yesterday, which was really fun. Today, besides, having some gifts and everything from people for Mother's Day, I just vacuumed the house because that's something I want a clean house for Mother's Day. So that was nice to do, but the house wasn't really messy, so it just needed a vacuum, so I didn't mind doing that. Supper was made, leftovers from yesterday. So Auntie Diane says, hi Lisa. Hi Auntie Diane. I can't remember if I told you guys about this recipe. It is so good. I'll add it in the comments. I call it Lisa's butternut fry up, but butternut squash fry up. But I did get the recipe semi from the internet, so I don't know if I tweaked it at all, but, oh, Auntie Dan just said, haha, I cleaned out my fridge. Okay, so butternut squash, I just peel mine with a peeler, like a hand peeler, like you'd use for carrots. Peel it, and then I cut it in half. You take out the little, like the seeds. I use a grapefruit spoon that has little teeth on the sides of the spoon. I use that to scrape out the little bit of like guts and seeds. Then I cut it and cube it, and then I put it in the microwave to cook faster. You can cook it in the oven, or you can cook it however you want. But the last few times I've made it, I've just forgotten to do that quicker. I mean, if you roast it in the oven, it'd probably be best, but I just didn't remember to do it. So it doesn't matter how much you get it, like how much it cooks, but, so butternut squash, then in my big, not a frying pan, but like a deep frying pan, I don't know what it would be called, like sort, I guess no, it's not a saucepan. Anyways, I put onions, which I use red onion, and garlic, cloves, minced up. And then you can use oil if you want, but I just use a bit of butter, just something so that it doesn't stick, even though it's a non-stick pan, but you know what I mean. So some butter or olive spread or whatever, onions and garlic, and I let those, I guess they would be, if you use butter, then it would technically be called, my brain's caramelizing, I guess. So onions, garlic. It's so simple too, this recipe. So once that's done and my sweet potato is ready from the microwave or whatever, dump it in, stir that around. The spices, 3 spices. Saffron, which this is the first recipe I've ever used saffron for, and yum, cumin, and cinnamon, which I love cinnamon anyways. So saffron, cumin, and cinnamon. And honestly, I just put some in, I didn't measure it. Then you're stirring that around. You dump in a bag of spinach, ready washed spinach, whatever, or wash it and then dump it in. Again, you can measure if you want, but right now I've used a small butternut squash, 1 red onion, and a bag of spinach, and then a small, like, I don't know how many grams or whatever it is, but it's like a little log of goat's cheese. And you can crumble it up. Well, it's kind of like, okay, say you cut up the goat's cheese, but it goes in, or however you want to do it, so that it melts, and you stir it so that the spinach wilts, and then the cheese gets on, like it's not on all of it, like where it's like cheesy, like a sauce. It's more like a little bit of cheese in it. But the flavor is so yummy, so yummy. Like, I make this for me and Steve. It's pretty healthy, and we could eat it like every day. It just tastes so good. And I haven't figured out if it's the seasoning, like if it is the saffron and cumin and cinnamon that makes it so good, or if it's the goat's cheese, or if it's just a combination of everything. Like, I wonder if I use those spices on something else, if it would taste just as good. I don't know, I haven't tried, but I do recommend this recipe. I've made it a few times, quite easy, quite simple, healthy, and it has not failed to be delicious. So I would try that. I'll put it in the comments, because I put it into my Fitness Pal where we keep track of our food, and you can add a recipe and you can put exactly what ingredients you've used to make it, and then it figures out the nutritional values for you. So I took a screenshot of that, so it has the amount that I first used when I first made it. That was when I actually roasted the butternut squash in the oven and stuff. So, how are you guys? Let's see. Like I said, it's already March 10th. Our little Canadian niece, Felicity, turned 6 on International Women's Day, which was Friday. So happy birthday, Felicity. Hope it was a great birthday, and happy International Women's Day a few days late to, again, all the women out there, anyone who identifies as a woman, or anyone who is helping women to have equal rights. Again, we don't want to boost ourselves above anybody else. We just want equality. So, next Sunday is already like the 17th, so it's St. Patrick's Day. But let's see, March. No, I can't think of anything specific. Still eating healthy, haven't started working out. Still got the cough and the crap in the back of my throat kind of thing, and still feeling not under the weather, but just like not full, not that I ever feel full of energy, but there's still something that's just not fully like healthy again, like where you just feel a bit run down, like low energy compared to what your normal level is. So hopefully one day me and Steve will feel better about that, but we're not the only ones who have had this like long going cough and cold type thing. So, but it is slowly getting better, definitely better than the last few weeks. Just a bit of this stupid cough and stuff in the back of my throat. So that's good. So then I can start working out, and even getting outside and doing more gardening will already be increasing my physical activity. I have a big, just because I just looked over at it, it's big, like, it's not a rubbish bin or garbage bin, but it's like a big black tub. You can use it for anything, dog food or anything. It has a lid, and then it has like handles that clip on to hold it tight. I ordered it from Amazon, so I needed something to put water in, but something that had a lid so the dogs wouldn't drink my water, because I wanted to have rainwater in the house that was room temperature, but with fertilizer in it, half the amount that you would use for outside, you use for inside for houseplants. But if I put fertilizer in it, I didn't want the dogs drinking it, so I needed a lid. So I finally got that, did that, and that's how I fertilized and watered all my plants in the house. The thing is that, because you can't, all the plants don't want to be watered at the same time necessarily, and they don't all take the same amount of water. So that's why it's nice to have this jug now where the fertilizer's in it. So if I need to water one or two plants, I can just go get a little bit of the water and go and water those few plants that need it, that seem to be thirstier than other plants. So we'll see how the system works. Also, I'm hoping that the houseplants will react very positively to having rainwater instead of tap water. Plus, I have so much rainwater outside, because it is England, that it'll save on using tap water. So I will let you guys know how that goes with my plants. And with the light changing, you know, like the sun is getting stronger every day and having more daylight, the houseplants will be happy chappies. We change our clocks at the end of the month, so on like the 30th to the 31st or something. Yeah, so at the end of the month is when we change ours. So we only have to do this weird time changing. Like you guys in Alberta are only a 6-hour difference from me right now, and that'll only be, like I said, for a few weeks, and then we'll go back to a 7-hour difference between us. So like, yeah, next week and such, it'll be at 2 o'clock for Mountain Standard Time instead of 1 o'clock. Sorry to break up your afternoon, but for me, it's, like I said, it's in between 8 and 9 p.m., and this is just my last kind of thing that I'll do tonight. The house is tidy, people have eaten dinner, and Steve has not gone out tonight because not enough of his mates are out, so I'll watch TV with him. My stepson Owen bought me this calendar for Christmas. I may have told you guys about it. It's a coloring calendar, so every month the image on the top, you know, you have the calendar on the bottom, the image on the top you can color. And I told Steve that because if I color in bed while we're watching TV, I can do it for hours and hours and hours and not necessarily pay attention to the TV or to him. So I told him that what I'll do is, to get some of my creative time in, I will just do that month. And then so like when I finish the March calendar picture, then I won't color anything else until April, and then I'll do the April picture, etc. Well, the February one took me quite a long time, and I just finished it a few days ago. But the March one's not. I haven't even hung up the calendar because of how long the February one took me. So the March one, I started it yesterday, and I'm definitely half done. So might finish that tonight, and then I gotta find a place to hang this calendar. I do have other calendars like all over the house. I have my moon calendar in here on the wall. In the kitchen, I have it's so awesome because It's not the regular place that we get Chinese food, but we went to Dragon City one time to get it, and it was right around, like, between our New Year's and Chinese New Year's, or maybe it was before Christmas. I don't know. Anyways, they gave us a calendar, like a Chinese calendar. You know those, like, ones that are, like, painted or printed on, like, little pieces of, I don't know, bamboo or something, and then the calendar's all on the bottom. I love it, and I like the picture on it, and it's hanging in our kitchen. So there is calendars already in pretty much every room. So I don't know where to hang that coloring one. I could hang it in the office, which is like one of the craft rooms. But then when I need that, then I would have to bring it back upstairs if I want to color it the next month. We'll see. Oh, but there is one hanging in the office already. It's a Thomas bought two. One's a German Shepherd one for Lena, and the other one is a Doberman one for Sasha. So the Doberman one is hanging in the office, and the German Shepherd one is hanging in the dining room. I know. Yes, I do know what day it is from looking at my phone, but we do have calendars everywhere too. I like having, in every room, I like having Kleenex, calendars, clocks, and a rubbish bin. So Kleenex, it sounds better when you say Kleenex, calendars, clocks, but tissue, calendar, clock. And you don't need clocks as much anymore because, again, we have our phones and everything else, but and then a rubbish bin in each room. And then I have a recycle bin on each floor. So I have one big recycle bin in the kitchen and one in the upstairs bathroom, so that anybody who has cans or bottles or whatever that needs to be recycled, they can throw them in there, and then it can get emptied. It just makes it easier than people leaving things lying around or not knowing what to do with them. Everybody in the family seems to be good. Nothing to report back. I guess with Easter, like there'll be Easter break and spring break coming up for the kids. Yay for having them home. Sorry that I keep playing with my hair, but it just is like really big and I like it today. But yeah. Oh well, I told the girls, Aurora and Erica, that over the Easter spring break we're gonna work on their room. They want their walls painted and these shelves painted in their room, so they have to keep the room clean, but not as clean as it's not Lisa clean, but over the break, because then they'll be home to help me and everything, we'll do a full Lisa clean in their room and we'll paint the walls. We'll just because we'll pull things away from the wall and then paint, because the one at the back is going to be like black, like chalkboard paint, and then on either side, because the room is kind of split in the middle for each of them to have a half of the room. So I told them they could either have a different color on their wall or they can have the same color, but they've gone for the same color, and then the back wall will be like a chalkboard wall and it'll be divided in the middle. So yes, that is something that's coming up for spring break and stuff. It'll look really good when it's done, and I'm going to rearrange it so that it'll feel like they have more room but still have their separated space. So we'll see how that goes. I'll do before and after photos. Allison's room got painted when Owen moved out. Before she moved in, we painted her room, and Thomas just repainted his. It got painted like however many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago or something, but he just repainted his a few months ago and it looks really good. I told you guys that. So that's just, yeah. The girls' room though hasn't been painted since. Steve did paint it like a pale yellow before we moved here, but yeah, definitely will be good if we redo it. So, and it'll be more what they want for their style. And I have a feeling these kids are never leaving home, so if anything, we'll just have to build more rooms for the children and the grandchildren. Just kidding. I don't know what time it is. Oh, I can look and see how long we've been chatting, though. Only a half an hour, so you guys need to help me out. What do you guys want to talk about? I heard a little pitter-patter feet outside, so it might be Erica, but I know it's not her bedtime yet, so yeah, what do you guys want to talk about? Tell me what you've been up to, what you are getting up to this week. It'll be nice to finish that book because I have those other ones that I want to read. The thing about reading though is like, when I read the other night, I read 3 chapters and it was hours of, well, maybe about 3 hours of reading, but it's when I can listen to I know I can listen to books, but there's something about reading the words yourself. It's totally different and I love it, but it just takes up more time because you have to like sit and focus on the book and the reading. Whereas when I listen to podcasts or audiobooks, I can be doing other things as well. It's not that I don't deserve to sit down and read for a few hours if that's what I want to do. It just feels a little bit idle to me. It feels like, is this the best use of my time? Should I be doing something more productive? And yet, the book could be something that changes my life. So it might be the best thing for my life if I allow myself to sit down and read. And like I said, I deserve to have time to sit down. It's just hard for my jittery little body to allow myself to sit down and read. And also what happens too is that I tend to get so relaxed that I fall asleep when I read. That might happen to some of you. Do you ever get that part where you're like just nodding off while you're reading, and then you kind of like shake yourself, and then you read the same paragraph when you've fallen asleep, and then you shake yourself, and you've read the same thing like how many times, and you're like, oh, maybe I should just set my book down and close my eyes for a few minutes. It is, sometimes it's the best nap ever, even if it's only like 10 or 15 minutes though. So, and being in that relaxed state is not a bad thing. But yeah, I look forward to finishing this book and getting on. But like I said, I also have to not just buy books and read new books. I need to read the ones I own as well, because that's part of the thing, is use it or lose it. I can't own all these books if I haven't ever read them, or, you know, I'll keep ones that matter or are good for reference or that I just love or have changed my life. But I need to read some of the books to see if they're even worth keeping or not. So we haven't seen Steve's mom for Mother's Day. We're gonna do something with her during the week, so, or this week, maybe next week. But anyways, what else can I tell you guys about? I'm just trying to get things done. We haven't heard anything about the visa yet, so I'll let you guys know when we know. But I'm just, the house is pretty clean and organized, as I told you guys last week, so I'm really gonna try and get some stuff done outside. As I said in the past though, the problem with working outside is that, well, on rainy or chilly days, it's kind of miserable and it's hard to get inspired. Once I'm out there, then even with dressed warm, and I can get right into it and get lots of work done. But it's hard to like want to go outside when it feels a bit miserable. But even if the sun was shining, I'm scared to get out there because yes, I am pretty good at balancing my life and getting, you know, like a little bit of everything done instead of just super focusing on one thing. But I am addicted to gardening and I love it, and I'd probably choose it over most things. So I'm scared that once I get out there, I am going to not want to ever come back in. Even being in my greenhouse, I am just like so in love with it. I haven't even barely begun to get out of the greenhouse. Like even when I had the old greenhouse and it had plastic instead of windows on some of it, and it, you know, if it didn't close properly, like everything, I got so much use out of that old greenhouse that this one is spectacular, and I haven't even begun to get the use out of it that I can and do what I could do. So I love it so much. But so I'm working, like the plants that are in there, the house plants, and I'm doing different things, but I haven't like started a bunch of stuff because, like I said before, with going to Canada, I don't want to have a bunch of seedlings and everything. I know I could have started some things, like say I could have started corn. I could still start some corn and then put it in the raised beds and it'll take care of itself even while I'm gone. I know when we were growing up, my parents would put in a vegetable garden, and even though we would be at the lake for 2 months, like us kids and my mom, my dad would be at the lake for 2 weeks and then he'd go back to the city for 2 weeks and work, and then out of the lake for 2 weeks and then back to the city for 2 weeks. So he could check on things and make sure that the garden was doing well. But yeah, there is some things that I could plant, and for the most part, like even squash or pumpkins, as long as we're getting the rainfall that we need, especially in the raised beds because they'll hold a lot of moisture, there is some things that I could plant that would be fine over summer while I was gone, but I just don't want to have to worry about those things, or for whoever's watering my plants to have to worry about it. So I haven't really started anything, and I don't know if I will. But I will do what I have said for the last few years, and I will love the plants I have. and take care of them and get each of the plants that I do already own and have outside and inside to try and live their best life and thrive and everything else. So I will focus still on the plants that I have, and hopefully they, and then, you know, sometimes a sneaky little plant will find its way back home with me. So it does happen. I think someone's in the kitchen, but I don't know. It's like his laundry never ends, but that it could be for most of you. So what haven't we talked about? The 5 F's. Faith, which is spirituality. We talked about that. Family, friends, food, and finances. We talked about all those things. So, fitness. Did I already say that? Food, fitness, fabulous. Fabulous at 45. Sometimes I forgot how old I was. Who was I figuring out an age for? Oh, there was an actor who was like a year older than me, and I was trying to figure out, like, I couldn't remember if I was still 44 or if I was 45 or if I was 46. But so I was born in 78, so I'm pretty sure I'm 45 and I'll be 46 in October. Isn't it weird how do you forget your age? But it's just a thing that you don't really care about it as much anymore. So you know around what your age is, but you just don't remember year to year what it is. And Diane says, I'll be getting some raised beds this spring. Any suggestions? What goes best? They're not that deep. No, raised beds are great. I know my mom wants some raised flower beds in front of her house. There's nothing, the good thing about raised beds is that you don't have to bend as much and everything, but the soil that you want to grow in, even on the flat ground, is just as important as if it's a raised bed. So you will add, even like again, if you're doing it on the flat ground, you still want to add things like old horse manure. Like you can't use fresh horse manure because it'll be too strong, it'll burn the plants and stuff. So you have to let it, I don't remember what the word is, but you want it to sit for a while. So you're going to add that. You're going to add like homemade compost. If you do your own compost, you can add that to it. If you don't, you can even just put your food scraps and stuff that you would put in a compost bin. You can, so if you're just starting your raised beds, you can put a layer of cardboard at the bottom to keep the weeds out. You can put all your like grass clippings, eggshells and veg scraps and all those things that you could be saving from now until then. Put them at the bottom of your raised beds as a layer, and they're going to break down slowly. They're going to attract the worms and everything else. They're going to break down and compost slowly underneath the dirt, and they're going to add that nutrients too. It's called, don't you hate when your brain has all this information in it, but then when you have to like recall it, it's like, nah, we're not giving that to you. So what trench composting. So if you're doing it on a flat ground, that's when you would like dig a trench and you would put in all your compost and everything else, and then you put the dirt back on top. So you're basically doing the same thing, making a lasagna of compost in your raised beds, and then you're going to put your best like topsoil on top of it, and then you can plant on top of it. The roots of the plants are going to go down and they'll find the nutrients anyways. So this is a great time to get rid of like your piles of compost if you have them. Even if you have small twigs and stuff like that and you don't know what to do with them, if you don't have garden collection or whatever, you can put twigs and stuff at the bottom as well. They'll take longer to break down, but they definitely will eventually break down and add to the nutrients. So that's what I would suggest, especially like I said, it not only does it add nutrients, not only does it fill out your beds more, well, that's what I was going to say, is that it can be cheaper in the end than getting a whole load of topsoil or going to the shop to buy the compost or like potting soil or whatever. Instead of getting heaps of that and trying to fill your whole raised beds, even if they're shallow raised beds, if you add all this compost and everything, it's going to take up that room and it's going to add to it. And then as it decomposes, yes, the soil will go down, but worms will be in there and their poo is what makes soil as well. And then you can add on top more new compost or new soil or whatever. But yeah, that's what I would say to do. And just look up trench composting and it'll show you the lasagna of stuff that you can put into your raised beds. But that's very exciting that you have raised beds. Auntie Dan says, good tips, thanks. You're very welcome. When my brain lets me spew the information that I have retained, it can be useful. So, I'm going to have a drink of water. I don't have plans for St. Patrick's Day or like on the weekend. We're not ones to go out really much. You know, it's not like we're going to go out to the pubs and stuff, but it is the 17th on Sunday, so we'll do the St. Patrick's theme here. And this room that I'm in is actually the one that's decorated with, because of this light green walls and then the like a hunter's green kind of accents, like the towels and stuff. I use this room for the St. Patrick's Day theme this year. So I'm just super excited to get out in the garden more. Auntie Dan says, do you like country music? I do like country music, but I haven't listened to it in quite a while. When I do try to listen to it, so I'm not up to date on like new stuff, but I still tend to, maybe it's like being stuck in the 80s or 90s or 70s or 60s or whenever you were like at your best time in your life or whatever. So I guess I'm kind of stuck with my like 80s, 90s kind of country music that I like the most. However, heartbreaking that Toby Maguire died. Toby Maguire did not die. Toby Keith, the country singer, died. He was one of my crushes when I was a kid. And I, you know, like the song, what is it called? I Want to Be a Cowboy. So Toby Keith died. That's very sad. And Dan says, I missed out on a really good concert in Edmonton. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani were there. Yeah, that would have been good because I do like both of them. I've listened to Gwen Stefani for years as well, even when she was in No Doubt. The concert thing, I mean, as you know, I've gone to Pink and I love Blue October, but once they get like really big, actually there was someone that he likes, I can't remember who it was, and it was like an opera thing that was going on, and he thought, oh, well, he could get tickets to that. We haven't been to an opera before. I've never been to an opera. I don't know if he has ever before, but we definitely haven't been together. But when he looked at ticket prices, it's like £100 for a good seat, like just a decent seat. Not like the great ones, but like a decent seat was £100. And even like the ones where you wouldn't be able to see at all were like £50. And it was like, oh, what's the point? So it's the same thing with concerts. I'd love to go to more concerts, but sometimes it's the experience, so you can say that you've been there, but if you're basically having to watch the screen the whole time, it's not really that enjoyable. Yeah?
Can I use the microwave quickly?
Yeah. That's why I love that, like Blue October. If I went to see them in America, it would probably be not as exciting because there would be way more people because that's where they're from. Whereas here, the venues are smaller because they have enough fans to come out here to play, but not enough to be a huge venue. So, Auntie Dan says, I would love to go see Tennille Townes. Do I know that name? It sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is, so I'd have to look it up and listen to it. So, what do you, I have no opinion one way or the other, but what do you think of Beyonce's new country album? If you've listened to it, I've only heard like snippets of the one song that she brought out and like the St. Texas and whatever the lyrics say. It sounds really good to me, but again, I'm not one to seek out her music anyway, so I wouldn't, besides if it's been played on the radio, I wouldn't really know her regular albums either, so. Oh, Tennille Townes. Oh, right. Auntie Dan says she is from Grand Prairie originally. That's why I know the name, because I think you and maybe my cousin Erin and some of you guys have told me about her and that she's starting to make it bigger out there. So, yeah. So I wonder how big I'm guessing if she came back to Grand Prairie, the venue would be quite big because there'd be a lot of fans because it's her hometown. So it might be better to see her somewhere else where there's less Do you know where, like, I love living in Saskatchewan, but, so sometimes, not always, but if they're doing a Canadian tour, they'll stop in Saskatoon, and the venue is a lot smaller than, like, going to Edmonton or Calgary to see things. So, like, when I saw New Kids on the Block, and when I saw Pink in Saskatoon, it was awesome because the venue was so much smaller. And Dan says, funny thing, Sam and Tennille went to PWA school together. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. So they actually went to school. Yeah, it's really cool when you know someone who's making it out there, being successful at anything, especially something they love doing. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you'd want to see her just because of that, because of the, like, 6 degrees of separation type thing. So, yeah, that's very exciting. Speaking of exciting, I am excited for coming to Canada. I do think about it a lot before I go to sleep. Thinking about what we're going to do there, what I'm going to eat there. I have a dream, in my dream I'll be in Canada. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot. Mexican chili chips, ketchup chips. I need to start eating. I need to start, A&W. I need to eat all these things that I can't have when I'm in the UK because I'm going to miss them when I'm gone. So, Samantha says, hello. Hi, Samantha. I think I told you guys that Taco Bell opened, not too far from here in Crew. And Taco Bell's not my favorite, but I love their hot sauce, which Thomas brought me some of their hot sauce back. But I haven't even tried it yet, even though it's been there a couple months, because me and Steve are eating healthy. So I want to sneak there, but that's only cheating myself. And Jan says, Sammy, Cassie just got back from a trip to Orlando, Florida. Check out the videos on Facebook. Pretty awesome. I'm jealous. Wish I could have went with them. Yeah, I haven't been to Florida either. Orlando. Yeah, that's okay. I'll have to check out. So for those of you watching, Sam is my cousin and Cassie's his girlfriend, and they went to Orlando, Florida. I think I've seen brief posts about it, but I don't think I've clicked on and actually looked at the photos. So I will do that. Besides Canada, there's no trips that me and Steve have planned that I can think of. But Canada's exciting enough. So I'm looking forward to going there and being there, but we really gotta, and I say this every week, but we really gotta sort out our dates and write things down and figure out so we can tell you guys when we're gonna be where, so we can see whoever is around that area and stuff. I had a dream last night that I was staying at a friend's in Ontario's in my dream, and I dyed my hair like a red or a burgundy, but not like a ginger type hair color, not a natural color, but just a very and it looked pretty cool. Oh, but my hair was dark in my dream actually. It was darker than this when maybe the darkness here. I don't know. It was darker when I put that color on. It wasn't light like this, so I don't know how it would look in real life. And Dan says, when you figure dates out, let me know. I will try to book time off. We can do camping or something. Yes, that's what we're trying to figure out, because I want people to know so that they can, if they have time or they can plan to see us, then that is what the plan is. I will let you know as soon as I know. And I have a list of people, so I will actually make my list with the people who I have say this to, that I will let you know when I know, so that I'm actually messaging you guys and letting you know when I know more. And I will try and get my ass in gear and actually book dates and stuff like that. Even if our flight is even if we can't book our flights yet, but we know that we're going to leave this week or in these few days, then at least I know those other weeks. Even, say we leave on whatever day and I take that week to just chill and do nothing or whatever, then I know the next week I can plan for Grand Prairie or wherever. My back's itchy. I'm wearing a wool jumper. A woolly jumper. So, yes, very exciting for Canada. Won't be long enough no matter how long we stay there, but I know me and Steven, all 3 girls are Obviously, we gave the 2 oldest the option, not 2 oldest, the 2 oldest of the 3 girls, the option if they wanted to go or not. They need to get their passports done, but Steve didn't know if Alison wanted to be there the whole time, as she has a boyfriend here. But whether it's 4 or 5 weeks, she said yes, she'd be there the whole time. So quite excited to get there and see everybody. Okay, so next week is St. Patrick's Day, and if everything goes to plan, I want to do we'll do treats and crafts in the kitchen for my rambling hour. just St. Patrick's treats and crafts, even though it's actually St. Patrick's Day. But I can always repost it closer, like next year before St. Patrick's Day if people want to make those little treats and stuff for their kids or loved ones or whoever. But it still gives us something to do. I really need to get my budding gear too with guests. So if you want to be my guest on my Facebook Live, even if you've been my guest already, because there's lots of people that I've had that I would love to have again. So let me know, message me if you want to be my guest. Otherwise, just message me and say, Lisa, get your ass in gear and get some guests on because it makes it more interesting. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys have a good week with the weather and that you get to enjoy the outdoors. Go for a walk, go in nature and just see what you can discover. Take some quiet time. I need to stop listening to so many podcasts because I'm really not just having quiet time in my brain with no noise. I'm going to have to just, because I can't get through all the podcasts that I like, but it's like TV. There's always stuff that you would want to watch, but you don't have time for it all. So I really need to focus on a few podcasts that I really love and just cut the rest out and then have quiet time in my brain so I can like focus and yeah. So, I love you guys. I will see you next week at same time, same place, and have a great week. And if you are going out next, like the Saturday coming up for St. Patrick's Day, have a great time, all right? Love you guys, and again, we'll see you next week. Bye!